I guess 2 weeks ago, we did intonation.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? It was really rushed at the end of class, I know, but that's why we're going to this one. That's why we'll review. So we have the two, yeah, I already heard it. What was this one?
Rising.
Rising, good. So this is the rising intonation, and then this one is
Falling.
falling. Good, okay. Now do you remember what we use, or what types of speech are used for each of these intonations? Remember I gave you a little list?
Yes,
No
no
questions.
Okay, yes or no questions.
Clarification.
Which one are yes or no questions? Rising? Okay, so give me an example. Wait, ask a question.
Yeah.
You are a teacher. Do you speak English?
Do you speak English? Are you a teacher? Yeah, you hear the rising. Are you a teacher? Do you speak English? Perfect. Okay, so yes, no questions. I'm just going to do cues. Okay. Well, what else?
Clarification.
Clarifications. Good. What was that?
Something you not certain.
Okay, good.
Understandable.
Good. So you can't understand, you're not sure.
Yeah,
What's an example?
Isn't it?
Isn't it? Isn't it? Right? What? Yeah, clarifications. Good. And what else? For rising. Wasn't there one more? Nope, that was it. Alright, so how about falling?
Statements.
Statements.
Statements. Alright, give me an example of that. This one should be really easy.
You are beautiful.
Oh, that's a nice one. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. Good. You hear it going down. Good. Next.
Last in the list.
Last in the list. Okay, an example.
Bananas, apples, and pears.
Good. And remember, I think I drew this one, right? Bananas, apples, and pears. Bananas, apples, and pears. So usually list items go up, up, down. Went to Oregon and California and Idaho. Okay, and what was the last one?
Information question.
Information questions. Good. And an example?
What is the school?
What is what?
The school.
Where is? Or
Where?
where is? Yeah, where is the school? Good. Where is the school? What is your name? Just the first time you're asking. But remember, I think we mentioned this last time. If you're asking the first time an information question, what is your name? It'll go down. But if they say something, or they say what, or they don't hear you, that's when it becomes a clarification. Like, what is your name? Like, I didn't hear you. What is your name? Yeah. Can you hear the difference? Like, what is your name? It's like, first time you're asking them, what is their name? But then if they say something and you don't hear it, you say, what is your name? You say it again, and it goes up. It's a rising. So you're asking for clarification. You didn't understand. So, the present tenses. I'm going to do them just like we did the past, so that you can see the similarities, because they're so similar. Remember, first we started with the simple past and the past progressive, and today we're going to do the present, simple present and present progressive, okay? So, present tense, well, present tense is, because we'll do two today. Alright, so we'll start with the simple, because that's the best. Alright, so give me an example. You can say something in the present tense, right?
I am happy.
I am happy. Good. Okay, so I am happy. I am happy. That is a fact. So we're going to use the present tense for facts and generalizations. What is a generalization?
Everything is included. I don't know.
Yeah, what were we saying?
Everything is included.
Everything is
There's no
included in
exceptions.
generalizations. Another one is going to be repeated actions. So you remember when we had like one action and then another action and then another action, what tense did we use? Testing you.
Present progressive.
No. This
Simple progress.
simple
Tense. Past.
past. Simple past. Remember, I woke up, I got coffee, I took a shower. When we have that repeated tasks, it's the simple past. But now we're doing repeated actions that we do every day. Usually you'll hear phrases like, oh no, this marker. Okay, I'm switching one more time. So things like every day. Okay, so an example, I you don't have to have every day either. You can do like every Thursday, or just something that's repeated and it hasn't finished. Like the actions that are one right after another, like this morning I woke up, I got coffee, those have finished. But this, I talk to my mom every Thursday. I have in the past, I will in the future, I did today. So simple present, I talk to my mom every Thursday. Okay, so that's the repeated actions. Make sense? We're good so far? Okay. Next is scheduled events in the near future. Okay, so let's break this down. What is the near future?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not that far. It's not like, next year or, when, I don't know, when the world ends or it's not that's the future. The near future is like maybe in a couple hours, maybe tomorrow, something soon. Near is usually, remember, I think we talked about just, how that was the near past, like I just ate breakfast, like not very long ago. So near future is just but in the future, okay? So this is for the past, but we can have the same concept in the future. And usually when we do that, we say about to. So I'm about to leave. It's almost time, I'm about to leave. So about to and just are kind of together. Okay, so scheduled events in the future, in the near future. An example, the train leaves at 6. Okay. So leaves, I guess I should make sure you see those simple present tense. The train leaves. Thank you.
Hopefully that one's where we'll throw all the other ones away.
Yeah. This one's okay, it's just so far in there. Okay, so the train leaves at 6 p.m. So it's not too far in the future, later tonight, and it's scheduled. That's what time the train is supposed to leave, that's what time the train's going to leave, so we use the simple present. Good? Any questions? Not until we start working with it. Okay, then the last thing for the simple present is things that are happening right now, but only for verbs that are non-continuous. I don't know what they're doing up there. Okay, I kind of ran out of room. So verbs that are non-continuous, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Because usually when things are happening right now, what tense do we use? Like right now I'm
Running.
running. Good. So we usually use that ing.
Present
Yeah.
continuous.
Yeah, that's the present continuous or the present progressive. Usually that's what we use. But there are some verbs, actually a group of verbs that we can't put in the progressive tense. We can't add the ing to them. And in that case, we use the simple present. Okay? I know that sounds a little confusing.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Well, Beatrice already gave us an example. This kind of fits down here too. You can't say I'm being happy. We don't use that way, or I aming happy. We have to use the simple present. Okay, so like the verb am is one of them. Here. Where is it over here? Only life in the giver.
I like
You like it?
No.
Why?
because all the families have the same stuff. Yeah, so everyone have a child, two childs, a boy, a girl. Everyone have to share the thoughts, the dreams. It's a normal family, I guess. Because today everyone is in the cell phone. Nobody's talk anymore. Nobody knows what's happening in own house.
In the house,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Everyone, you see people in the hallways walking like this, right? Hey, come on in. So they're not paying attention to the world around them, right?
Yeah.
And this
Like
sort of
this.
forces that. You have to talk about your feelings and your family's feelings. Yeah, good. And then you said it's the normal family. And what do you mean by that?
Normal family because in the past I think that's what's happening when no one's have a cell phone. Today I only talk with my brothers. Is that real? With by Facebook or WhatsApp. I don't talk with my brothers normally. Because I have to wake up, go to work. My brother have to go to school, and I only see my mother at night.
Yeah, it's true. Everyone has different schedules. So in this world, they all have the same schedule. So they have plenty of time to talk and interact. Good. Any other thoughts?
I think maybe that will be good in a family right now because we are losing like the communication or relationships with people in the same moment. We'll do all through our phones. But I think that pushing a family to have only 2 kids, a boy and a girl, is like, it's not good because maybe some families want to have 1 kid or 3 kids or 4 kids, or it's not the real thing in life. Maybe it's good for a organized play, but in life we need variety, diversity.
Yeah,
things.
variety is a good thing.
Different families, different thoughts, different cultures. But if everyone thinks the same way, maybe life will be boring.
Yeah, if you're a girl and you have a sister, don't you like that?
Yeah.
You like having a sister, right? And guys, if you have brothers, that's nice to have the same, gender in one family. You can relate and you have friendships with those people. You can have the same with brother and sister, but could you imagine getting rid of the ones you already have? Just having one? Okay, come on in. So yeah, that's a good point. Having the one girl, one boy to each family, and that's it. Anything else?
And everything in this book is assigned. You have a work that somebody choose for you. You have a wife or a husband that somebody choose for you, and you have kids that somebody choose for you. Maybe that's okay in some cultures because there are some cultures that choose the wife and the husband.
Mm-hmm.
But in so many, it doesn't work that way. You choose whoever you want to get married, and you have your kids, your own kids if you can. If you don't, you adopt the one you want to adopt. So you are losing like your freedom.
Yeah,
to
the
choose.
freedom of choice is kind of lost here. Although you get you get comfortable with that, right? Just like you said, other cultures have arranged marriage. Other cultures have, you can only have one child, or they have,
Exactly.
they have those rules, and they get along fine. They're happy with their culture. So it could be the same in this case, right? Everybody, that's how their culture is, and they like it. They feel comfortable with it. But it's good to think I don't know if some people don't feel that way, they feel forced. Yeah, that's not positive. Good. Anything else about the family life? So we mentioned, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that everything is good now because they yet a child. But when you become a teenager, many things better. Because it's a routine every day. They have to do the same thing, talk about what they do. It's always the same thing. And it's becoming bored. And maybe you become a rebel.
Yeah, that word rebel is often used with teenager, right? That's the time when you're trying to find yourself and break out of these sort of conventions that you have. And this community, that would be really hard, right? It seems like they're very severe. If you were to do something like that, maybe you'd be released. And then what? You know, so yeah, that's true. Teenagers probably have a tough time in this society. Good. Why do they have the ceremonies? What happens at the ceremonies?
What happens? When you have 7, you can be an 8. When you become an 8, you are obligated to do internship hours or volunteer work. I don't know.
Yeah, either one is good. Mm-hmm.
When you become a 9, you gain a bicycle.
Bicycle is the full word. Bike is slang. We say, get your bike. Yeah. You've seen the words, right? Bike.
Yeah.
Kind of a strange word to take from bicycle, but yeah, either one's fine.
Bicycle. When you become a 10, I don't know what happens.
Something.
So 10 to 11 is kind of preparation for you become a 12. When you become a 12, someone, approximately the elders, pick a job for you. That's what I get it for this one.
Exactly, that's perfect summary. Good summarizing there, good. So it's almost like a graduation ceremony, right? Each year you turn older, you get more responsibility, and you're sort of becoming an adult, right? There's a little different because it's every year, whereas like in our culture, you have like elementary school, you graduate to middle school, to high school, to college. So it's kind of sped up, right? Good, and that was a good example of something that happened at each of the ceremonies. It seems like every time they get something extra. Like we'll see on the quiz, the example that I give is one of the years they get a new shirt. And I think Lily, the little sister, described one year her shirt was buttoned in the back, so she didn't have any independence.
Before the 7.
Yeah, before 7. Mm-hmm. So when she was 6, she couldn't dress herself, right? She needed her mom or dad to help. But then what happened?
They give them
Get the gloves.
Yeah.
in the front.
Good, yeah. So she got a shirt that buttoned in the front, so that gave her more independence. She could dress herself now. Good. Exactly. We had a little bit of a problem with the word unique. So if you have a question about vocabulary, let me know. So let's see, list 3 things that happen at the ceremonies. I gave you an example, but don't use that example, okay? We just were talking about it, so hopefully it's fresh in your mind. You can come up with other ones. Name one thing a committee of elders oversees. What does oversees mean? Rules, yeah. Perfect, so what they control, what they choose. Mm-hmm. And which character do you like? You can do that one. That's the easy one I gave you this week. Good? Alright, I'm sure you guys are still writing, but I know that last one you could probably answer for a while. So you can go ahead and just tear them out and pass them forward, and we'll go over the answers. Okay? First one. We were just talking about it, but list 3 things that happen at the ceremonies. Throw them out there.
Families get the new jacket.
Yeah.
The front bottom.
Yep, good. Yeah, 7s get the new jacket with the front buttons. Good. What else?
The 9s get their bike.
9s get their bike. Good. 2.
Tennis court has your hair.
Ah, yeah.
Lose the red and the boys have a short. Just hairstyle.
Short haircut. Yeah, so they get their hair cut. I forget, what year was that? 10? 10? Yeah. It's hard to remember what happens at what year. But yeah, 10s get their hair cut. Some year they lose their ribbons.
I think
8.
it's
No, it's the same day,
Same.
for game.
Okay. Okay. Good. And then what else?
8 gets the new jacket with the front
With the
bottoms
Oh, the
and in the pockets.
Good. Yeah, the pockets for their calculator, right? Good. Yeah. And we talked about the naming ceremony, which happens at 1. And then 12s. What happens for the 12s?
get
Yes, they get their assignments. Good. So you had plenty to write for that, right? Good. Okay, name one thing that the committee oversees. The committee of elders.
The names of the new children.
The names of the new children. Good.
when they have the dream. I don't remember the name of that part.
The stirring.
Dream.
Yeah.
They gave the kids the pill for the next.
Yeah, they oversee
The
the
rest of
medication for the stirrings. Good.
When people don't agree with the rule, they can apply for elsewhere and Zapi. I think it's Zapi.
Yeah. Yeah, so they can submit an application to go somewhere else or do something else, or if they even want to change in the rules. All of those things are overseen by the committee of elders. Oh, and so maybe one of your homework assignments, you already know the reading, right? It's actually 3 chapters, but one of them is very, very short. So that's one homework. And the other one is write down any new vocabulary that you see. Okay, so if you own the book, you can maybe highlight or underline or write it on a piece of paper, whatever you want, but we're going to do something with that on Monday. And maybe one of the words we oversee, right? So that seems to be a new one for us, oversee. It's a verb. Good. Okay, and which character do you like the most so far? Lily? Asher? Okay. Lily, Asher. Anybody pick anyone different?
I like father because he seems to be happy all the time and
He
do
seems to be-
everything in a good way.
Good. Okay, why do you like Lily and Asher? Those of you who picked
That
them.
is crazy.
Crazy. Maybe carefree, right? Yeah. And what about Lily?
Lily is always be true and straight and brief.
Yes, she's very honest, right?
Yeah.
She just says what she feels and what she's thinking. Yeah, I think we all wish we could do that sometimes, and we can't always. Yeah, good. This class, I mentioned predictions and making predictions, and I asked you for homework to start thinking about what might happen next in the story. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit of time. So what is a prediction?
Yes.
Guess something with what will happen.
Good, yeah, a guess of what will happen. Right. So how do you make these predictions when you're reading? What makes you think about something that's going to happen?
What will happen next?
Yeah, what will happen next? What are the maybe
The
clues?
events.
The events?
Yeah, the events.
Good, yeah, the events that are happening, you sort of see, oh, maybe we're going to go here next
Yeah,
or do
but
this.
Jonas, when he felt about the honor.
Ah. So you think something might happen between Jonas and Fiona? Good, yeah. So when you have these clues, the events and sort of the hints that come in the story, we call foreshadowing. Okay. Have you heard and used this word before?
Yeah.
So here's some foreshadow or foreshadowing. Yes, I heard some yeses and some no's. So those of you who have heard of it, what is foreshadowing?
It's a technique that the writer used to give a little feeling that something might happen in the future.
Good. That was perfect definition, like from the book. Good. It's a technique that writers use. Okay. So those little hints that they put in there are usually on purpose. They want you to think a certain way. Sometimes they want you to think that way so you're surprised when they do something different. And sometimes they want you to think that way so it makes you feel a certain emotion, right? Like it might make you feel happy or maybe nervous. If you read mysteries, you start getting nervous because bad things are going to happen, right? So I have an example of foreshadowing, because foreshadowing is not just in books. can also be in movies. And all the videos from last class and from today, I'm going to put on D2L if you want to watch them again. This one's like 7 minutes long, but we only have time for one example. Maybe you've seen this movie.
Oh.
Well, maybe dinosaurs had one.
Yeah.
It was loud enough. What were some of the foreshadowing techniques you saw in this? What do you think might happen next?
How that he say it with the body is gonna happen to someone he knows in the future.
Yeah, so he was very descriptive, but it was not something that he knew, it was something he thought might happen. And so now you think it's going to happen. He said it, it's going to happen, right? What else?
It seems the boy is not interested about this animal. So that's why he gave just a imaginary picture about this animal. So, and he gave him how he attacked the people.
Yeah, so this boy is like, oh, that's no big deal. It's just a raptor. But that's foreshadowing too, right? It makes you like, oh no, you need to take it serious, right? It makes you feel that. Good, so there's a bunch of examples in there. Another really famous one, I don't know if it's in this video, but you might have seen this movie too, and all the foreshadowing is music. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Have you seen that movie?
Shark.
Yeah, it's Jaws. It's a shark movie when the shark attacks. All they have is like two like piano keys, dun-dun, dun-dun, dun, and everybody's like, oh, the shark is coming. Yeah, so that's another foreshadowing technique. Doesn't take much. Could be a lot of words, a whole story, or just some music. Good. Okay, so this piece of paper that you got last time, we were doing the summarizing on. On the back is the literary tools foreshadowing exercise. So go ahead and get that out for me. Oh yes, I'm going to use this box, these 3 numbers, and answer what might the author be foreshadowing with this passage. So right here, and these can be different. Not everyone's going to have the same answer for this. So you're just thinking, what might the author want us to feel? What might we think happens next? Think of 3 possible answers and write them below. And then circle the one that you think is most plausible. So plausible means the one you think will happen the most. You're like sure about that one, right? Okay, and then real fast, rarity. What does rarity mean?
Seldom.
Seldom. Unique, good. It comes from the word rare, right? So it's not something that happens often, it's unique. Good. And what were the other words? Death. Deep. Yeah, it comes from deep, right? It's how far something is down. But when you're talking about maybe a person, it's almost emotional, right? Like you can have an inner depth. So it doesn't have to be so literal, but it comes from the same word, deep. How about lurk?
It's not very clear.
Yeah, it's not very clear. It's not very clear, I think, even to me, lurk. Like, it's something you know what it is, but, I mean, I could probably act it out, but I don't know what the real definition of lurk would be. So let's look. A person or animal to remain hidden so as to wait in ambush for someone or something. So they're like lurking. It's something that you don't see right off the bat. It's kind of hidden. So maybe because his eyes are so deep, you don't really see everything. Some people, you can read their emotions on their face, right? Like maybe me. You can tell when I'm happy, right? It's pretty easy. But some people, you can't tell. So their emotions are like lurking. They're hidden. Okay? Good. And self-conscious. What is self-conscious? Don't understand this word? This one's hard. It's not a fun one.
So deep itself.
Yeah, when you're really aware of yourself and you're kind of trying to be a certain way or not be a certain way, I have a really good example right now because there's a camera in the room. It makes you really self-conscious. I'm worried about how my hands are or what I'm saying. It's just you're super aware of yourself, conscious of yourself. Okay? All right, so you can do this in groups. I would prefer you to do this in groups. So get together with some people near you, maybe 3 or 4, and then come up with some examples of foreshadowing. Go on for a long time making these predictions and finding different foreshadowing techniques. But I think I walked around and everyone has a good one, at least one, and you all have different ones. So I really want to share what you guys think is coming next. So, which group wants to go first? Go ahead.
So we just have some relation between Jonas and Gabriel. One, maybe they would figure out they have the same mother. And the second one, we are thinking maybe they are from different communities.
Ah, okay.
They interfere this community.
Good.
The last one, most probably maybe they will overtake the leads in the community.
Oh, okay. So, wow, you have a lot of different, I guess, ideas about what's going to happen, right? Which one did you think was the most plausible?
The mother.
The mother?
Yeah.
That's the least outside the box one, right? Yeah, they had the same one. But I like the other ones. They're from different communities, or they're going to take over this community. Good. Okay, who else had a good one?
I think maybe when Jonas saw the game's eyes, the same like the one he had, maybe now he starts thinking about he being different than the other one there. So that can make him in the future start asking why things are in one way, or start like disagreeing with some things in the community.
Ah, good. So now he sees that he's different, so maybe he should think differently.
Exactly.
Good. Majid?
And maybe in future he has a special talent, he maybe can see in the dark.
Ah. Yeah, so there's only like 3 people we know of in the community, so maybe they have something extra. Maybe they can see in the dark or do something that others can't. Good. What makes you think that? What makes you think they're so different from this passage? All of you said they're different. So what was it in this passage that made you really believe they were not a part of the community?
Because
the author said we'll make love, so something will come in the future. So we think about what will come.
Good, yeah, you're thinking about what will come, Wilfred?
He said that Jonas was reminded that the light eyes were not only a rare. That means that he may recall that somewhere.
Yeah, so somebody knows. Somebody maybe whispers about the light eyes. They can't really talk about it, but they all know that it's different. Maybe they don't know why, but they know. Good. So one of the middle groups, what did you say? Sure.
The light eyes may be the reason that he was chosen to be the giver.
Ah, so the light eyes are sort of a marker of as you're chosen. He's going to be someone, right? Maybe the giver or an elder, something like that. Good. That's pretty plausible, right? Still in the community. Yeah. Good. Any others you want to share? We've had enough guessing. All right. Well, it's kind of fun to think about what will happen. And as we keep reading, we'll find out who was right with the light eyes. What does the light eyes mean? We'll